Friday is Islam's holy day. And at some point, I think I'll be taken out and murdered for my opposition to Islam. So I thought I'd give this a fitting name for part of my show. Tommy's Friday Fatwa. Who else has got that Friday feeling anyway? Before we talk about the Fatwa. That Friday feeling where you just want to go out and get on it. But I can't because I went out last weekend, so I've got to be good this weekend. Take the missus out. For this, I'm going to go through some tweets. Start off going through some tweets, which will always amuse me. You know, if I'm bored, I just look at my Twitter. So, and I search my name. They say, you search your name? I said, yeah, I do. It amuses me. Like this. How long until Tommy Robinson and co are up in arms about KFC branches not selling the double down with bacon because it's not halal? That double down with bacon is crap. I'm not going to moan about it because it's horrible, it's rotten, and it's impossible to eat. It's a stupid invention and a stupid burger. So no, mate, I don't really care. Go on Twitter and put in Tommy Robinson KFC, yeah? So many people are talking about me and KFC. There's so many comments. Like, I was eating my KFC the other day. I like KFC. I was eating my KFC the other day, and some bloke put KMT, yeah? I didn't know what this was, right? KMT. Tommy Robinson's eating his chicken in front of me. KMT is kiss my teeth. So kiss my teeth, Tommy Robinson's, what did he say? Oh, I forget what the other comment was, but it was something about doing me in or something like that, or having a go at me. But he didn't even say anything to me, because I remember just sitting eating my KFC. I was in a service station. No one batted an eyelid. So, mate, he was a complete coward, giving it the big one on Twitter like most people. Tom Robinson and his goons are putting "Don't fund terrorism" on KFC signs because they use halal chicken. See what I mean? I just get blamed for this shit. I've never done that. Just drove past Sunbury on Thames, terrorist incident. No sign of Tom Robinson. He's probably in KFC. How have I become disassociated with KFC? What's happened here? I've just gone KFC a couple of times. That's all I've done. I haven't done anything here. Right, see you next one. This guy also equated Tommy Robinson asking questions of Quilliam with the invasion of Poland or some other shit. Another Majid Nawaz waste of time. Can I ask you one question? You see that little picture there has been made into what they called a GIF. That's why I was talking to some woman. It's quite funny actually. Would Tommy Robinson or Katie Huxton like to make a comment about these institutionalised abuses? No, didn't think so. Yes, I've spoke about both. I always do. More to the point, there's certain famous stars now, whether Jane Fonda being one of them. She's come out now and said she regrets not saying anything sooner. So why don't these people like this, who instead of having a pop at me, have a pop at the people that knew this was going on? Loads of people knew this was going on. Every time this happens, all the people come out of the woodwork, don't they? Oh, I knew he was a wrong one. Like the BBC knew Jimmy Savile was a nonce. It's the BBC. Of course they did. Anyway, I'm considering finishing with Reese because he watches Tommy Robinson's videos. Not only do I cause domestics in my own home, I'm causing domestics in other people's houses. Shannon, leave Reese alone, man. Let the man enjoy himself. The uncomfortable truth. Let's watch this then. To start with, this is the BBC, okay? The uncomfortable truth is that white race is the most violent and oppressive force of nature. The BBC are actually promoting this. This is a ladyboy.
What kind of country is modern Britain? No doubt it's a country that likes to think of itself as inclusive, but that depends where you're standing.
Well, you're standing in front of me. You're a transgender black man or lady, whatever way you want to talk of it. You want to talk about inclusive? You're on the BBC, love. You're on the BBC preaching your intolerance towards me, so pretty inclusive.
To me, as a transgender mixed-race person, we live in a deeply racist society.
The only reason why she has a career is because you're a transgender mixed-race person. It's the only reason you've got a career. Other than that, you're a dropout loser ladyboy.
The government's race audit for England identified discrimination against people of colour in many of our institutions.
He's not even fit. At least some of them are fit. He ain't.
Ranging from the police to the justice system to schools. Does this surprise you? It's old news to me and almost a bad joke to identify it now.
She's on about the police being racist. Let me just give you some statistics about police are racist against black people. Yeah? So some statistics on London. 2010 statistics. 50% of violent crimes in London, 50% of violent crimes in London were committed by black people. It's a fact. It's not racist. It's a fact. Okay? So when she's saying the police are racist, This is what the police have to deal with. 50%. Out of a population in London of 10%. Who's the biggest victims? Let me continue listening to what she's got to say. But
It's something that we've known for years, but the political will has not been there to deal with it, and I'm not sure it is now. Why should we expect anything else from a country that's built its success on the enslavement of non-white people? It's that continuous cycle of racism.
here she goes again. Her mum's white, right? And she's on about the enslavement of white people. White people ended the slave trade. Yes, there's a lot of negativity in our past, but in everyone's past. White people ended it. We didn't start it, we ended it, okay? We ended it. Many whites were slaves, okay? But in the slave trade, from black people as well, if we want to talk about it. But also, after the Universal Human Rights Declaration in 1948, our Navy, our military had to go and stop. When all the countries went against slavery, our military had to go and stop the slave trade, which was still going on in the Middle East. There's still slaves now. Where are they? In the Middle East and in Africa. Slave trade still going on now. Talk about that. Why don't you talk about that?
That explains where we are now. Why does the UK acknowledge the sacrifice of people killed in wars, but not the spilled blood of black people?
This is, again, spilled blood of black people. As I've previously said, 50% of violent crimes were committed by black people in London, out of a population of 10%. Who are the biggest proportion of victims by those violent crimes? Other black people. There's a lot of spilt blood being spilled, yeah? And it's black people's blood at the hands of other black people. You professional victims, she is.
If the UK took our oppression seriously, then people like me who call out racism would be listened to, rather than ridiculed or threatened with death.
You're a racist bitch. And then I'm even taking your female, I'm even giving you that. You're a racist geezer.
If white people want to see an improvement for people of colour, they need to understand that racism is not learned, it's inherited, and either consciously or unconsciously passed down through privilege.
Racism's not learned, it's inherited. So somehow we've all inherited racism. This is absurd. Do you know what? Do you know if I go through the UK, me being born, it's handed down to me because I'm white. That's what she's saying. In that sense, it must have been handed down to Aaron Dugmore. Aaron Dugmore was a 7 or 8 year old little white boy who hanged himself after being bullied because he was white. Or maybe it was handed down to Ross Parker. Most of you won't know these names. This is the problem. Most of you won't even heard of these names. Ross Parker, who was brutally and savagely murdered by a gang of Pakistani Muslims who smashed knives off in his head and beat him with baseball bats. Murdered him simply because he was white. Or maybe Chris Donald. How many people have heard of Chris Donald? Chris Donald was taken off the streets 15 years old off McCulloch Street in Scotland. He was kidnapped off the street because he was white. They tortured him in the back of his car. They cut off his genitals and fed them to him. Look this murder up. Look this murder up. But that's his privilege. According to this racist bitch, that's his privilege. He has privilege. No, he doesn't have privilege. Racism works on all sides, and it is learned. It is learned. It's not inherited. It's not in you to be racist. And that's it. You have victims like this. Chris Donald was taken off the streets, fed his genitals, butchered, stabbed, set on fire, and he run, still alive, rolling and rolling and rolling and dying because he was white. Don't tell me about white privilege. I hate it. This winds me up so much. Do you know how many murders I could go through like that? You know, in the UK, I could go through more and more and more and list them and list them and list them. How many can you do on the other hand? You're going to tell me Stephen Lawrence, Anthony Walker? Who else? Who else? Out of a population of this country that's 90% white, if this was such an abusive, racist white country, there'd be plenty of murders. But yet, you reverse the roles, the 10% are causing so many racist murders, so many more. White people are the biggest victims of racism.
The uncomfortable truth is that the white race is the most violent and oppressive force of nature on earth.
How can the BBC do this? This is this is our money's paid for this. We've paid for this. How insulting is that? We've actually paid for this. Your TV licence that they take from you has paid for this man to stand there acting like a victim and tell us how bad we all are. Stop paying your TV licence. Let me let him finish.
The worry is that whatever governments do to tinker with institutional racism, it is so ingrained in the fabric of British society that it is too late to do anything about it.
Because it's institutional racism that stood by and watched 1,400 young black children be raped because of their race, was it? There is institutional racism. It's aimed at us. Oh, I can't believe that's the BBC have put that out on this week. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Do you know what? This is exactly what I was saying. Give us, you know, for what they're going to be charged, for what they charge you for your license fee. We're trying to set up our own show to counter this absolute nonsense. But you'd be better off sacking off your BBC license fee. Don't pay them it. Now, as it's Friday, I want to end on a bit of a laugh every week. So for the show, we're going to have Hadith of the Week. Tommy Robinson's Hadith of the Week, where I'm going to pick through my favourite Hadiths. Those of you who don't know what Hadith is the stories of and the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. So these are all things he said, and they're all put into books, and Muslims look at these books and they live their life and they take their instructions from these books. They coincide with the Quran, they work with the Quran. Now, this is fun, yeah, because now you get to find out just how messed up Muhammad was. So the first Hadith, this is our first show. This will be our first trial show. So first Hadith. Sahih Bukhari. Sahih means authentic. These are authentic Hadiths, yeah? Authentic, real. This is it. Sahih Bukhari 882-794. Some people from the tribe of Ukl come to the Prophet Muhammad and embraced Islam. The climate of Medina did not suit them. So the Prophet ordered them to go to the camels of charity and to drink their urine as medicine. Drink the camel piss as medicine. Yes, O Prophet, O Messenger of God, what a man you are. This is it. Take a look now.
سواء لفيروس سي أو للسكر أو لأمراض معدة، بول الإبل زي ما أنتم شايفين.
This is it. This is Islam. This is for real. This is a real hadith. This is what he says. And people now, how mad is it that for 1400 years, if he's not getting people to blow themselves up, this joker has got people drinking the piss of camels. No joke. It's so much so that the World Health Organization, they had to come out because we had an outbreak of MERS. Because so many people were drinking the piss of camels because the Prophet Muhammad says it in his hadith. I'm going to enjoy this section because I'm going to bring you a mad hadith every week. And we'll all sit there on a Friday afternoon. And as Muslims are bending down praying, we'll have a laugh at their expense. These are all practice segments for the Tommy Robinson show, which is coming soon. We're not even in our studio yet. We're going to have a great time when we get in our studio. But, I mean, look what we're working out of. Look what our camera's on. Our camera's, it's being held up on a baby chair. On a baby chair. But we need your support. I want your support. I want you to join me regularly for the Tommy Robinson show. Go on TommyRobinson.com, find out more. Tommy Robinson show coming soon. Go to TommyRobinson.com. Give Rebel a like and subscribe.